with your favorite crossing. Support for the hanging knee. I take a hold of those knees and lift the front of my trunk up. Abdomen back, soft, uninvolved. Then I put my hands back here, and then I can feel more, at least I do, feel the back body lifting up, with the exception of the shoulder trapezium, shoulder blade area goes down the back, but the shoulders move back. So lift yourself up well, have a tall, tall spine, and then bring your hands to your heart, look straight ahead, and close the eyes. Distance yourself from anything that went on before class, anything that has to go on after class, and put yourself in this present moment, this asana, which is technically an asana in its own right, swastikasana with namaskarasana hands. Press the palms together just enough to keep the palms together, not to constrict the palm skin in any way, and allow the upper arms to go back. Feel the sternal part of the chest, the sternum, helping you lift that edge of your thumbs. Smooth, soft inhalation, smooth, soft exhalation. Feel your body and feel the connection. Mind, body, spirit, vertical extension, horizontal expansion. And your choice, either to join me in the 3 Oms or repeat them silently. Om. 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 Bow your heads. Release your hands. Slowly lift the head up and open the eyes. So just be in a comfortable position here as I read you a couple of things. So it used to be, at least when I started Iyengar yoga in 1999, they were called forward bends. Here, if you can see, in Gita's preliminary course, they're called forward extensions. So I'm just going to read this real quick. Knowing the correct way of sitting and the various movements of the knees, the forward extensions become easier. Dandasana is the basic posture for the sitting and forward extensions. All the forward extensions in this syllabi begin and end in Dandasana. The various positions of the legs, along with various movements of the knees, enable the spinal muscles to extend forward, creating a natural traction. Every forward extension is done creating concavity in the spine and bringing a soft rotation in the abdominal muscles. There's an extension of the abdomen rather than its compression. In order to create evenness in the extension of the spine, one begins the forward extensions with Pashimotonasana. We're going to start with Dandasana first. So I just want to read what BKS says real quick about this Pashimotonasana pose. So Pashima literally means the west. It implies the back of the whole body from the head to the heels. or in Pashimotonasana's case, from the heels to the head. That's the direction the body is moving. The anterior or the eastern aspect is the front of the body, from the face to the toes. The crown of the head is the upper and northern aspect, while the soles and heels of the feet form the lower or southern aspect. In this asana, the back of the whole body is intensely stretched. So we're actually, to start, we're just going to do the concave part. But one more thing, I'm just going to read real quick what the asana, what the forward extensions do. They tone the abdominal organs and keep them free from sluggishness. It also tones the kidneys, rejuvenates the whole spine, and therefore improves digestion. Due to the extra stretch of the pelvic region, more oxygenated blood is brought there, and the gonad glands absorb the required nutrition from the blood. This increases vitality. So here we go. How I'd like to start this Dandasana is with, if you are able to be flat, get rid of my blankets here. Okay, if you know that you cannot move your spine in, I'll exaggerate. If I don't sit on height and I was naturally, this is my form, then I'm going to say definitely you sit up on height. But if you can manage something like this, where you're sitting up, the hands go slightly back, right? And I press the hands down, and my sole intention right here with this Urdhva Mukha Dandasana is to move the spinal column into the body. So you decide what you need. Dandasana like this, either flat or a minimal amount of height. Have your strap nearby and just have one long strap. See how you're doing in your Dandasana. Sole purpose of this Dandasana is to move the spine in. Look at your legs, see that they are even on the floor, inner and outer ankle, calf, shin, knees, thigh. And then watch the head, that it doesn't go so far forward, some of you. So it's not this. So go ahead, put your hands further back, Mike, and those other people who might have that head forward thing. Put your hands, maybe 6-7 inches back, and lean back. You see how much I'm leaning back? Can you see? Go back here. Okay, so now I know that my head is in line with my spine. It's not here. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, now can you keep that head in line with your spine and just tiptoe your fingers forward? I don't care if the heel of the hand is not down yet, but don't let your head come forward. Lift the anterior spine. That's way better, Mike. Way better. Don't let your chin go down. Okay, now you have your strap. Okay, you have awareness in your legs. You know how they face, how they should face evenly, all that. Now, I think it's best to use your hands to give a little bit further education to the back of the thigh. So you're pulling the thigh, the hamstring, back towards the buttock bone. And remember what I said, that the stretch is from the heels to the crown of the head. So everything is going in this direction. So when I pull that right thigh back, I want to release the skin on the buttock bones towards the back of the waist. And I do it on the other side. Then I'm going to take my strap around the middle of the feet. Okay, and then I am going to literally wrap that strap around a couple of times. And I'm going to press into that strap and move the spine in. Shoulders down, lift the anterior spine so that the posterior spine, the back channel of your spine, moves in. Press your feet, open up the sole of the foot, look at your feet, try to get some space between your toes. Lift the front of the trunk up, keep the shoulders down. You are really, really pressing into your strap and really, really pulling up on your arms. Shoulders down, trapezium down. You should work hard here. Work hard to get that spine to move in. Pull the belt and open your chest. Move that area between the shoulder blades into the body. This is called making the upper back concave. Watch the shoulders, Chaya. Yeah, keep the shoulders down and move the bottom tips of your shoulder blades into your back. Yeah, it might just be your sweater. All right. The legs also have to extend against the resistance of your belt. So you keep, it's more like that from, you have to resist with the legs, right? Holding and pulling on the belt, help move the shoulder blades and to make that thoracic dorsal spine concave. All right, so that's easy. Okay, now release from that. If you can be at the wall, take both feet to the wall about hip distance apart, and you see how my knees are bent? Okay, so I want this skin on the back of the thighs to go in this direction towards the buttocks. So watch, I'm here and I straighten the legs, then I lift up and maybe I reach the wall, maybe I don't. Okay, but the spine, the upper back is still trying to concave itself, not here, but move in. Spine in, front of the trunk up. See if you can touch your wall. Make sure the feet are at least hip width apart. So there's a densification of the thighs. Make your thighs heavy. Press them down so that the front of the trunk lifts up and the dorsal spine moves in. Watch the shoulders, Mike. Shoulders down, front of the trunk up. Lift your chest, even look up if that helps you. Okay, now come, let me show with the belt, and those of you who don't need the belt, you don't have to use the belt. So the first one, I'll show with the belt. So I'm putting the belt at the ball of the foot. I'm gonna choke up, I'm gonna wrap it around a few times. So I'm pushing the feet into the belt, turn the upper arms, lift up. Okay, so I don't let the legs become light. Now I start pulling myself forward, keeping that spine moving into the body. So my abdomen there's a slight internal rotation of the abdomen. Ribs forward, I'm just looking at my feet. Then I can even put my head down on my shins and I keep pulling with that strap. Those of you who don't need the strap are going to hold your toe tips. So you're here, toe tips, pull those upper arms down, thoracic in, front of the chest lifted. Look up and then keep going forward. All this back of the thigh skin coming up towards your waist. Forward, take the front of the body forward and head down. Keep spreading open the feet. So now the wall is not involved. You're away from the wall. This is Parangushta Dandasana at the beginning, and then a regular Pashimotonasana. Okay. All right, and now release from that and come into your first. You might want to, let me just say, no, we can do this first one together and then I'll have to show. So I'm going to stand. If you can show me your side view, that's better. Let me put my hair up. Okay, from Tadasana, thighs back, rock back. And, I've got the wall behind me, so I'm lifting up my toes and moving those thighs back. Okay, now interlace your fingers. I don't care if you have to bend your elbows to do that. Interlace your fingers. And now pull down on the arms and apart. So you're not letting your fingers come apart, but you're pulling out at the wrists a little bit. And now take the arms back. Keep the thighs back. Try to open up this side body. Now, can you feel how much your spine moves into the back? Your spinal column moves in. Elbows must be straight. So if your elbows don't straighten with your hands interlocked, you are allowed to hold your thumb tips. Your thumbs like this. Yeah, if your elbows do not straighten. Keep your feet pointing straight ahead. Roll the shoulders back. First, you're pulling down against the sides of the chest, lifting up. Then when you say, okay, I've got the sides of the chest open up so much. Now I lift up the arms. Yeah, lift them up as much as you can. Up, 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 up. And shoulder blades come into your back even more. Okay, and now change the interlock. If you just have your thumbs, you just change the other way that it's crossed. First, pull down. Pull the arms down, lift the sides of the chest up, move those shoulders back, and now go back. Back, back, back. And up. Watch the trapezium. Shoulder blades stay down the back. Elbows absolutely locked. Even extension on the side body, on the arms. Okay, we did that, so we can do a good Padangusha Dandasana. Take your feet at least hip distance apart. Bend forward. Take a hold, ring grip, right? The ring grip means the two fingers go in between the big toe and the first little toe. And the thumb closes the gap. So it's like that. Okay, now I press the feet down. I externally rotate the arms. So I'm turning the biceps to face forward. And I go forward for a concave Padangusthasana. You can see your legs. Are they working? Pull up, kneecaps, thighs. So this skin, back of the thigh, is coming up towards the low back, and the whole back is going forward. Forward. Okay, now you're trying to do the whole pose. If this is all you can do, this is all you can do. Bend the elbows out to the side. Come down. Pull. Feel the broadening across your collarbones. Watch that the hips don't go back. Keep pressing your toes, the ball of your feet, down into the floor. Is that going? All right, and now inhale and come up. So let's try it one more time, and everybody can do it this way, even though you may have done an okay job with it. So take the concave again. We can do this together. Take your ring grip of your big toes. Externally rotate your arms, pull your shoulders back. Now bend your knees enough to place your rib cage on your thighs. Now pull forward, shoulders back and down, look forward, keep the thighs on the legs, and lift the backs of the thighs. You should not come away from your trunk. From your legs. Your trunk should not come away from your legs. Go a little wider with your heels, Mike. Yeah, wider. Heels out, heels out. Don't let your heels narrow. Okay, so when I first started my Iyengar yoga path, you know, I was running 50 miles a week. I was probably something like this. And when I straightened my legs, you know, I went like this. So I don't want you to do that. So at this point in your work, if that's you, you stay here and you just work on the forward part. So the front of the trunk is going forward. And I'm pulling strongly on those big toes so that I can go forward with the front of the trunk and the spine moves into the bottom. So that would be your work. Okay. All right, now just go, so you're here, maybe you're at the, I didn't tell you this, but come to the front of your mat. Place your hands on the floor and take downward dog. You can jump or step. So plow those hands forward, particularly the index finger and the thumb. Pull, you know, from the skin on the very, very bottom of your wrist, pull that upwards. Press the thighs back. Broaden the backs of the thighs, roll them from inside out. Move the outer calves or shin bones slightly in. So your two legs line up underneath their upper leg. Your two lower legs line up with your upper leg. Okay, now just have a rest in Adho Mukha Virasana. I give you a little rest there. And then I'm going to show you the next thing. All right, so this is a little, I guess I'll call it a little vinyasa. It's not much of one, but we will repeat downward dog and we'll lunge one leg forward. We'll keep it quite bent and then we'll straighten the leg to do Pashimotonasana. Concave only, concave only. So it looks something like this. And look up where I want to put my right leg, which is right along the inside of the right hand. Okay, now it's quite bent, okay? And now what I want to do is, remember Shirshasana, you kept the front of the trunk glued to that leg. So then I straighten the leg and head down. I said concave only, I lied. We do complete the pose. Does that make sense? Yeah, lunge forward. So, you know, let's say, let me go on this side to show you. Let's say, here's my downward dog. I come forward and the whole trunk is lining. Let's say I start to come forward and I lift up like that and my back rounds. So you stop. You don't let the back round. But you're pulling up that front thigh, front calf towards the buttock. And head down. It's Pashimotonasana. Back leg has no excuse though. Back leg needs to be straight. Still pull up that front thigh. Okay, back to downward dog. Just a little way to get you a little bit warmed up for the next thing. Look up at your left hand. Bring the left leg up. So you're in a bit of a lunge. You can turn that back, the back toe slightly out. And then slowly, your trunk is already where it needs to be. Slowly straighten that front leg. Legs strong, legs firm, keep them firm. Okay, then lift up and last downward dog, well, not last downward dog for the day, but downward dog. Then you can jump or step up and stand up. All right, chair. Have your chair. I'm not going to use the wall, but you could use the wall as needed. Let me go back a little bit further so you can see my whole setup. And I'm going to put this sticky mat on the top chair bar. Have your strap. You're roughly measuring your distance. The pose is Urdhva Prasarita Padottanasana. Urdhva Hasta Padottanasana. Sorry. Urdhva Hasta Padottanasana. Upward extended hand to big toe pose. So we're going to do it with the chair first. You know, if you had a rope wall, you could use your rope wall. This is in lieu of a rope wall. So I'm honoring you by not using my rope wall. So you'll just stand on the left leg and bring the right leg up to the chair. Now, if this is too much for you and your spine rounds, you know, then you need to be here. So you have to decide where you can be to keep the standing leg thigh back engaged, the front leg straight. Now watch, then we put the strap on, the ball of the foot. Choke up on that strap. Press that standing thigh back. Lift the trunk up. So descend the hip crease, right, of that lifted leg, and then make the hips compact. And pull yourself up. Press through. You can see I'm really pressing through the strap, because in reality, you have your hand on your foot in the final pose. Okay, now those of you who I may have said something about your head, watch that the head isn't forward. So the front of the trunk has to lift up, the spine has to still move into its spinal column where it belongs. Life takes the spine out and makes us rounded, pitiful creatures. We want to not have that. So this should be fairly comfortable. So the work is in the standing leg. Roll the front of that standing left thigh in. From inside out, the back of the thigh rolls inside out, inside out. Outside in on the front, inside out on the back. All right, release and just stand in your Tadasana. Okay, stand firmly on the right leg. Put the left heel up on the chair. Put your strap on your foot. Let's see. I think it's a bit easier here to make sure that the two sides of your pelvis are equally aligned, right? You can feel it, you can see it visually. Make sure the standing leg foot doesn't turn out. Watch your toes. The standing leg foot the toes should point straight forward or maybe even slightly in, because the tendency is for that leg to give up the ghost, so to speak. And Kathy Lindauer, your standing leg has to come forward just a bit. Make sure that the standing leg is directly under the center of its hip. Most people, you know, it's too far back. All right, change back to the first side. You may, you know, keep your strap, but for those of you who said, oh, this is nothing. So now you're going to get another challenge, and that is to hold the front bar of the chair without letting your hips become misaligned. So right leg up. Okay, where is this back of the leg going? From your kneecap. You know, this back of the thigh is coming this way. Pull it back to the buttock. For this purpose, reach both arms up. Keep your hips even. Exhale, come forward, hold the bar of the chair. And pull yourself all the way forward. Head down. You can bend the elbows out to the side. How's that? So figure out what stops you. Keep lengthening the back of the lifted leg towards the buttock crease. It's not about the hamstrings. Mike, tell yourself, it's not about the hamstrings. Lengthen the front of the body and let the back body just descend. Let it spread. Extend forward, and you're holding the back rest, and you can kind of pull it to bend over that lifted leg. That's, you know, to do the final pose, that's what we would do. Okay, then inhale and come up, stand in Tadasana. Strong legs. And then put the left leg on your chair. Make sure your hips are even. You know, especially, you know, those of you who have some scoliosis, you know, I know that this right hip is higher. So I have to descend that, to roll that thigh in is really what I have to do to make that hip go down. Okay, and then I'm reaching my arms up like Urdhva Hasta. I'm gonna pull on that front, that top of the chair bar, pull myself forward and go down. Watch the standing calf, that it doesn't bow out to the side. Press down on that ball, big toe of that standing leg. I mean, when people told me that this wasn't about the hamstrings, I didn't believe them. But it takes practice, 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 takes experience to learn it. Yeah, better to straighten that that extended leg, Doug, and don't go down as far. So you're, let's see, you're on the left leg. So keep that standing leg straight, and maybe you're just here. Keep pulling the hamstring toward the buttock crease. All right, that was Uttanasana Uttanasana. Is there anybody here that is dying to do it without any props? Sopo, you want to try it? All right, I'll tell you what. Everybody can do the first part, and you guys just stay. Get rid of your chair, or you are welcome to repeat the chair. How's that? We'll do it that way. Stand in Tadasana. And I'll tell those of you who are not repeating with the chair and want to just try it, I'll tell you when you can stop. Hands on your hips, roll your shoulders back, buttocks going down. If you can't straighten your leg, you're just gonna hold your big toe. So this is the part where I said, well, I'll tell you when you can stop. So you're just bending up your right leg and holding your big toe with that ring grip. Find your balance, other hand on your hip. I'm focusing on you, not me. So those of you who can't straighten the leg without terrible hamstring ill feelings, then you're not going to. But those of you who can't, straighten the leg. Pull the upper arm back towards the shoulder socket. Straighten the leg. Those of you who are just working on balance, just stay here and work on the hips, the compacting of the hips, and the lift of the trunk. Push into the ball of your foot. Can you see how I'm doing that? Push into the ball of the foot. That makes my left hip, my up leg hip stronger. If I just let that foot go, the hip is inactive. So I push into that ball of the foot and lift up. Okay, release that leg. Tadasana. Bend up your left leg. Reach on the inside of the foot. Grab the big toe. Right hand on the hip. Be steady there. Look at a spot, you know, maybe a little bit beyond eye level. Don't look down. So some of you are just staying here. Press into the ball of the foot and hug that hip in. And then the rest of you are straightening the leg. Hamstring to buttock. Lift the front of the trunk up. Do you feel your spine moving into the bottom? Lift the left side of your trunk more, Sopa. Left side of the trunk has to extend up. Yeah, and don't let the knee go out to the side. Anyone. Big toe, don't let the knee go out to the side, Laura. Okay, and now release. Okay. Let's just try this. Let's see what happens. You're well prepared for Urdhva Prasarita Ekapadasana. I hesitate to even get into the wall. I'm just not gonna let you get into the wall. So therefore I'm gonna have the the wall away from me, right? So I take, you can watch first. I take Concave Uttanasana, just the fingertips forward. I'm standing on my right leg. I keep my hips level and I lift the left leg. I roll the front of the thigh in, the back of the thigh out. Then can I walk forward, backwards. And there I am, trying to keep that thigh rolled in, back of the thigh out. So first time we're just doing it with the hands on the floor. But you are to keep the hips level and lift that leg as high as possible. Come on, Marcia. Yes, lift it and roll the front of the thigh in, the back of the thigh out, inside out. Urdhva Prasarita Ekapadasana. Straighten the leg. Straighten the leg. Come on, Chaya. Lift. Lift. All right, so I guarantee you, Chaya, if you will give yourself a little more space, you're here, and there's just not a lot of space. If you give yourself some more space, kick the hands back. Then you can go down with the trunk. So the leg goes up, trunk goes down. There you go. But now lift the back of the thigh. Yeah, some of you are doing quite nicely. Okay, stand in Tadasana again. We'll just do this from this pose. from the, the concave version. So come into Uttanasana concave, fingertips on the floor about 12, 14 inches in front of you. You're standing on your left leg. Start to bring the right toes back, and just have the big toe touching the floor. Keep rolling the front of the right thigh in, the back of the right thigh out. Then you start walking the hands back, and then lift that leg. Bend the elbows. Lift that leg as much as possible. Roll the front of the thigh in. Spread the back of the thigh inside out. Okay, now just concave Uttanasana. Those of you who are stiff in the hamstrings, please take your legs apart, hip distance apart. Those of you who are not, in the concave, begin to walk your hands back. Maybe the fingertips are in line with the toe taps. And now I'm still in the concave. I'm still looking forward. Pull the shoulders back and down. Then I'm walking the hands back so that the fingers are nearer to my heels. I'm still in the concave. Legs strong. Then I bend the elbows and head down. Make the legs like one strong Roman column. You should feel a spreading of even the buttock bones, like the buttock bones are pulling away from each other. Head releases, release the back of your neck. Okay. Inhale, come up to the concave, and then stand up. I might show you from the side this way. I think this is a better view. You're gonna do, all right, here's the deal. Those of you who want to do Shirshasana, do this very briefly, and then I'll time you for, let's say 3 minutes of head balance. If you don't do head balance, you're going to do the concave part of this pose. Have a bolster nearby. This is a really good way, those of you who are stiff in the back of the legs, it's really a good way to work on the legs. It teaches the alignment of the legs, the buttock bone and heels aligned on the same vertical plane, and the activation of the thighs. Working with the wall, one tends to tilt forward, and the chair supports us from doing this. So here we go. I'm going to have this nearby. I'm very carefully planting my heels along the wall. Pressing the thighs back. I'm going to put the support so it doesn't move. It's on the sticky mat. I press the thighs back, and now I feel which buttock bone is light. It's my right because my pelvis tilt. I have a anterior tilt of the right side of my pelvis. So I have to work on getting them even. So the first thing is to just go, I'm letting them, actually I should do this, and then that won't happen. I don't want the chair to slide too much, so I'm going to make a T with my other mat. Remember, if you want to do Shirshasana, just do your Prasarita Uttanasana, and then come down and do it. So here I am. And I'm keeping the thighs back, keeping the legs working, and I'm just reaching the trunk forward. So if this is difficult, that's why I said you should have a bolster.
Then this is your pose. Keep the buttock bones even on the wall.
Forehead should, if you can get the forehead to the chair, it's a nice support. Yeah, that looks good, Mike. See how evenly the legs are working? The longer, if you've got the head supported, you might, be able to stay and actually become relaxed in the pose. You've lengthened the front of the body as much as possible. And the upper back is concave. Keep on working on lifting the kneecaps. Flattening the front of your thighs into the wall so that the back of the thigh opens out. Okay, if you're doing your Shirshasana, you can come down and do that. And I'm going to set a timer the minute the first person goes up, which is Kathy. All right, and the rest of you, you can stay with if you're staying in the Prasarita Padottanasana, keep your head on the support and just stay. See if you can relax in the pose. The brain, the mind, the innermost layers of your consciousness. Yeah, and if you want to work on the full pose, you can hold your ankles at this point, Laura. You might say, okay, I want to do the full pose. So I might move an inch or two away from the wall and then hold my ankles and head down. Your buttock bones might leave the wall, that's okay, but keep the thighs back. Lift the shoulders away from the floor, pull the elbows out sideways, feel the collarbones broadening. For me, I have to watch my outer shin bones in this pose. I want to bring the outer shin bone in. Legs strong, those of you in Shirshasana. Make the legs like one, go up with the buttock, reach the buttock up. Instead of contracting the buttock downward, reach it up. You're only going to be able to do that if you use your legs. All right, those of you in Shirshasana, you have 1 more minute. Make the legs very, very strong. Those of you in Prasarita Padottanasana, come down or come up. Come away from the wall. Have a rolled blanket, a pretty tightly, I'll show you, a pretty tightly rolled blanket. In Shirshasana, you have about 40 seconds left. Thirty seconds left. All right, so you're going to take this blanket, sort of like the shoulder stand stack, and I'm going to make a tight roll so it's pretty dense. Then I'm going to sit toward the backside of the roll. Okay, you guys come down. Yep, there went the timer. Shirshasanas, come down evenly in control. Use your legs, lift your shoulders, lift your shoulders.
All right, so what happens with this version is that let me just show. So I'm here and my legs aren't straight. So when I'm up on the roll, now I want to straighten the legs and roll so that the buttock bones get caught on that side of the roll, but the thighs come to this side of the roll. So I was here and I rolled forward. I kept the buttock bones on that side, back side of the roll. Press the thighs down. Feet can be hip distance apart. Where is this? Yeah. The sacrum and the lumbar move forward. So if you put your two hands here across the lower sacrum and the near where the middle of your anus is, right? That should move forward. And then the trunk lifts up, the collarbones broaden. Densify your legs, press them down. Roll the shoulders back. Okay. Have a block. One more little thing. Have your block, I'll show you this way, skinny, between the thighs. You don't want to have it between the knees, so mine is just above my knees. I go and I take my thighs, roll the backs of the thighs out. Now I squeeze that brick. And I keep the thighs facing the ceiling. I keep the calves evenly extended. Keep squeezing the block and lift up. So this is turning those front thighs. Make sure you have a good gaze. This is my ultra mobile leg. So I really have to help it, educate it to roll it in. It just wants to roll out. And I squeeze that brick, take the thighs, the innermost thighs down towards the floor, where the back of the thigh meets the inner thigh. Press down, lift up. Just another Dandasana. Thighs working. Lift the trunk up. All right. Sit on this brick now. I'll turn sideways for Shirshasana 1. So you will have your left leg bent. Like this. Oh, and you need your strap. Strap is going to go, make a small loop in it. Put it around your right foot. You've got your left leg bent first. I'm showing you the opposite side. Okay, now watch. This tail of the strap is going to go on the inside of your bent left thigh. Then I'm going to reach around. You will reach around with your right arm. And now I'm turning. You're pulling with the Shirshasana arm. You're pulling that strap and you're turning. Don't let the foot leave the floor, the bent knee Shirshasana foot. Keep pressing and turn. So you're pushing. I should show you from the other way. Reach around, grab that strap from behind. Now, so some of you are going to be able to reach the foot. Okay, but don't give up anything in this front of the trunk extending. Keep extending up. up, and don't let that bent knee buttock come up. And what's nice about this strap is it encourages that crease of the bent knee to stay down. And never forget the first time I taught this, and people were like, "Ah, that is wonderful." Not my idea. So we're just doing Uttanasana. Come forward, you know, it is a forward, well, it's a forward extension in the final pose, but I'm just getting you to turn and to get your left shoulder blade as close to that inner knee as possible. Left knee, same shoulder blade, left knee. How's it going? Yeah, good. All right, release, switch. That's the side I like to turn to. So no wonder I got to show you that one first. Oops. Strap along the left straight leg. Strap on the inside of the bent knee and around the back. Hold now with your left hand and begin turning. You know, and if you're close, watch this. If you're close to reaching the foot, but not quite, you could make your loop, you know, a little larger. And you're like that. So it's just an extension of your foot. Turn, turn, turn. And now go forward and push I'm going to hold my foot now. Push that shoulder blade into your back. Right shoulder blade coming closer to the inner knee. And don't let that inner knee go out to the side. Wow. All right, so that's all we're doing with that one. Yay. All this to do Malasana. Most wonderful of forward bends. So why is it wonderful? Because it really releases the groins. So I'm going to stand about 5 inches away from the wall. This is all relative as far as the length of your shin to the length of your leg, etc. So my feet are together. My heels might come up for just a fraction of a second, and then they're going to go down. Oh, yeah. Okay. So just my sacrum is on the wall. My knees are a little bit forward of my toes. My heels are back, heels down. Okay, now you can densify the legs by holding those legs and lifting the front of your trunk up. Let the sacrum go down. Okay, now just reach the arms out at shoulder level. So the front of the trunk is reaching up, groin soft and down. Reach up, reach up. You can even go a little bit higher than, you know, the hands can go a little bit higher than the shoulders. Press the sacrum into the wall, lift your back up and away from the wall. So you have to go forward a little bit, Mike. Go forward. Keep the knees together. For this first version, the knees stay together, the feet stay together. Feet together. There should be no, you know, and now don't let your back is not, some of you might be, you know, some of you are like this. I want this. Reach. So there's an angle. Come on, Kathy, reach. Groin soft. So your feet should not be right over your knees, Mike. That's the problem. So, you know, if you have a little tiny bit of a old sticky mat. You know, you roll it up. You make it, and you put your heels on. This might be better for you, Mike. If you don't have that, here's what you do. You just take this and you roll it, right? There, voila. So no way, no how. You want your ankles as close to your buttock bones as possible. Reach underneath here and feel that back of your ankle and your heel almost, you know, very, very close to your buttock bones. All right, so that's, if this is difficult, I urge you to work on it. Okay, now just relax and watch me. Now I'm going to go take the trunk forward, just like you did in Shirshasana, through the legs. I'm not going to just splay the knees out to the side, but I just take them wide enough to get the trunk just outside. Then I squeeze in. Squeeze in. Okay. Now I internally rotate the arm, palms up. This is my own doing. I'm going to stand on my thumb mound. So I put the palms there and I'm standing on my thumbs. And then I go down. So I'm not just splaying out to the side. I'm actually hugging in with those outer thighs, outer knees in, and I'm letting the groins release. You have to extend the body forward. First, bring the head down. Head down. Come on, curl a little bit, Mike. Remember, there's an internal rotation of the abdomen. The abdomen goes back towards the spine. What are you doing, Triumph? Yeah, I want everybody's head down. Curl. Curl the head down. Yeah, you can, if it helps you to come a little bit away from the wall, that's okay.
Hands are not coming back, coming like this. My hands are not coming, go back.
Did you go forward? So you could.
I stuck here.
Take your strap. You might, I don't know, might double it. Put it back there. You know it's back there. Reach for your strap. I'm coming away from the wall. I'm a little bit too far away from the wall. There's all sorts of tricks. But I'm hugging in so the trunk is stable to go down.
Okay, I got a little bit.
Now strap.
Yeah.
Groin soft. Internally rotate the abdomen. Let me see what happens, Mike, when you just go forward from there. Reach your hands forward on the floor. Reach forward, look up, look up. Look up a little bit before. All right, now squeeze the outer thighs to the inner thighs. And now start curling, taking your head under. Yeah, just work there. That's better. Yeah, you should get something. Some way in the direction of the pose. Oh, okay. So I had written down, if we had time, which we're kind of, it's borderline, but I was going to see who wanted to try Karmasana. Does Sobo want to try Karmasana? Oh, Chaya wants to try Karmasana.
Preparation. I try.
You try everything. Okay. So here's my version of Karmasana, or how it has helped me.
Yeah.
I take no sticky. I take one blanket here, one blanket here. Can everybody see me? Let's see. Everybody can do a part of this. So I'm sort of like a narrow Upavishtakonasana. A narrower Upavishtakonasana. I take the back of the thighs, I help educate them. Roll the fronts of the thighs in, spread the backs of the thighs out. Then I bend my knees up. I'm gonna slide, that's why I don't have, if you have carpet, you don't need the blankets. All right, so watch here. It's hard to talk and do this pose. But first, like Malasana, I'm gonna hold onto the feet and take the trunk forward. Okay, so I'm moving the trunk forward, sacrum forward, tailbone forward. Okay, then I reach one hand and I'm trying to get underneath the back of the knee. Other hand underneath the back of the knee, then exhale and straighten the legs. So roll in. Roll those thighs in. It's like the tortoise going into its shell. You're trying to be introspective. How's it going? And what I said everybody could do part of it is, you could just work on this part. You could reach on the outside of your feet and, maybe you just, something like that. I did this for a while. You see how my arms are underneath my calves? So then I go forward. But my legs are working. Roll the thighs in. Try not to go quite so wide, Mike, with the legs. Come in a little bit. All right, now can you stay in the pose and find that inner, truest, most level of your own consciousness? Stay and see what happens. Nice, Kathy Beckman. Very nice.
Even if you're just doing Upavishta, you're getting the right action. So that was your Karmasana. Okay, now
Come up and you've got to do something to get all that forwardness out of the, really it's probably more lower back than anything. So let's do a couple of Pashimotonasanas with bent knees. And then if you want to try with straight legs, we'll try with straight legs. So I'm sitting on my 2 buttock bones. I bring the hands back, 5, 8 inches. My knees come up, my feet come up a little bit, and then I just lift up. Head back. Buttocks firm, hamstring to buttock connection. Pull up on that hamstring to buttock connection. Head back, lengthen the front of the trunk. And come down. Try it again like that. Or, as long as you're not going to cramp up on me, no cramps allowed. So really roll the fronts of the thighs in. Spread the backs of the legs out. So here. And lift up, head back. Make the front of the trunk nice and long. Arms strong, head back, Mike. Tailbone in, front of the trunk long towards the head side. Nice. Okay. All right, take 2 bricks. Take one at the wall. They're both going to be the same way, tall. Have your other one for Pashimotonasana Pose. So watch how I get into this. you know, I have to trust, I have to have some faith, some shraddha, that I know this brick is there. So I come in pretty close. I have my second brick here. I tuck the shoulders, and then I climb up onto my wall, right underneath that second brick. I lift up, and then I place the brick underneath my sacrum and straighten the legs. Tuck the shoulders. Press the heels more than the balls and the toes of the feet. That assures that the legs are working properly. Hamstring to buttock, calves to heels. You can keep holding on to the edges of your sticky mat and press the elbows down. Hold on the sticky mat. And lift the chest towards the head side. Lift your rib cage up and away from the pelvis. And if you're there and you feel like you can keep your chest open, then you can let go of the arms and just take them like Shavasana. Okay, be there, 5 more of your own nice elongated breaths. And those of you with any back pain, you know, you can always bend your knees. Okay, you have one more thing to do. So walk, take your feet off the last brick and walk in, and then lift your buttocks off that sacrum brick, and then slowly lower the spine from the top of the spine to the tailbone. And just wait there a breath or two. Keep the back of the waist moving towards the buttocks. Okay, now roll onto your side and sit yourself up. Don't try to have minimal movement here. And we're just gonna see what your Pashimotonasana looks like. So join the legs and feet. Re-educate your thighs once again to both roll the fronts of the thighs in, press the backs of the thighs down and towards the buttock crease. I'm going to have this for my head. Reaching up. I'm going to do Padangushtha Dandasana first. Hold the big toes. Lengthen upwards the spine, the sacrum and the tailbone coming forward, the front of the trunk coming forward. Now I feel my ribs on my thighs, and I want to keep feeling that extension of the front body. And then my head comes down. I can move my hands quite beyond my feet and hold one wrist over the other. What I like about that is you can pull the heels back towards the
the whole leg back towards the femur socket. And then you might be able to let go of some effort in the pose and just be. The day you can take Shavasana like this is the day you've arrived with your forward extensions. So can you just let go of the effort in your legs a little bit and keep your back body descending towards the front body. Surrender completely there. Keep the legs just active enough so that they don't roll out. The front of the legs don't roll out. Okay, now slowly come up, use your hands.
You can take that blanket back behind you.
Knees bent. Just 1 minute, we'll just take 1 minute. Hold the edges of your sticky mat, tuck and roll a little bit. And then simultaneously, both legs extending at the same time. Look down, see that you're happy with your evenness. And then let go legs, let go arms. Let loose completely. Start with your face. Make sure your face is soft everywhere, particularly the mouth cavity, the jawline. Keep your ears receptive, but actually, it should sound like my voice is coming from a further distance because you are withdrawing your senses inward. Become absolutely desireless in this state.
Everything you need to be the beautiful human being you are is already inside of you. So you become desireless. Connect with that inner truest consciousness, the one that is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
You start to form that connection through a strong yoga practice, that connection to the inner truest most self, and you actually become wiser. Yeah, age brings more wisdom too, but your yoga practice will probably do more for you than just getting older. Okay. You can keep your eyes closed as long as you feel comfortable doing so. But fold the limbs in one at a time. Take your time to roll to your right side. Curl your knees a little bit closer to your abdomen. And surrender your head once again towards the intelligence of the heart as you press your left hand first, then your right hand, and sit up straight and tall. Just take a moment to feel your physical body once again. Just take note of how you feel, where you feel it. And bring your hands to your heart. Sign or a gesture of humility and gratitude. Bow your heads down. Being thankful for the practice, being thankful for Boston Yoga Tree and all the teachers who've come before us to bring us the gift that is yoga.